So Aliyah Boston is back in Indiana. She is back, and do I know if she'll be in Indiana the whole time? I have no idea. If South Carolina, she'll probably go down to watch South Carolina in the Final Fours this weekend. But she has checked back into Indiana after Unrivaled, which is huge, which is important because it is important for all of these players just to get back, get used to playing with each other, get used to kind of being around each other, because we saw last year how long it took to kind of gel for these players. And obviously, it's very different adding a vet than it is adding a rookie, especially a ball-dominant rookie like a Caitlin Clark. So I can see why there's more growing pains for that. But it's still important just on a personal level for everyone kind of to be together. For even if it's not like a crazy amount of time, it's still fairly important. But we can see right here, here is the workout from Aliyah Boston. And it's something that we're going to watch right here. We're going to obviously go into way too much detail considering the fact that this is a workout. But you can normally see, you can see some stuff in workouts that kind of show maybe what players specifically are working on. What I would love to see in this, I would love to see some three-pointers. Like, I understand shooting middies, but Aliyah Boston, the amount of long twos, for someone that's so good at shooting long twos, it's not that hard to develop a three ball. I get it, the 15-foot and in mid-range shots, the kind of floater, jump shotty things that she likes to shoot. I understand that, but like the 17-footers instead of shooting 20 feet for an extra point, I never understand that in basketball. Okay, so Aliyah Boston looking in shape, in fairness. So nice lefty hook. Nice lefty floater layup coming off screen. Rolling in. In fairness, she can score with both hands. There we go. It's kind of hook jump shotty thing. There it is, the kind of floater. That's the one thing that she shoots where I'm like, I don't understand how it works, but it works. Like you would think it would be such an ineffective shot. And in fairness, like Ezi Magbagor swatted her so many times last year. But like, how many elite shot blockers are there in the W? Ezi Magbagor, Aja Wilson, and I doubt Dominique Malonga, but maybe Cardoso. Like outside of a couple of those, she's going to be able to make those like floater layup things. So she finished with both hands, which I like to see. It's a long two. Oh no, they're the kind of pull up short twos. That's fine. Step through with her left. Nice seal. I don't like how slow that move is. I do want to say this. So if you want to just look, again, I'm going into way too much detail. If you want to look at the seal right here, I don't like how she had to take an extra step there. Like that, a good shot blocker comes across and is able to get in, especially if she's finishing with the right hand. You would hope out of a post player that it's kind of like a curl, or saying it's almost like a brush off player. So when you have a player sealed, when you have the player sealed, as the pass is coming through, you're immediately turning, which she does a good job of turning before she catches the ball. But instead of turning, catch, stop, you're kind of turning and it's one motion into the right hand finish. Because doing that makes it a lot harder to block. Because it's a different thing if the stop was to kind of go more so towards the basket and use her body to seal off the shot blocker, but she's not really doing that. So I would love for that to be more a one motion from the seal, catch, quick layup, because I think that's the difference at the highest level of a block, of getting blocked and not. And in Aliyah, like talking about Aliyah Boston, she got blocked a lot. Like whenever she came up, how much she struggled against Ezi Magbagor on the interior. But yeah, so look, it's not the end of the world. It's just like a split second slow, shooting the long two off the catch, making a layup. That's a three. There we go. We finally saw a 3-point shot. That's what we need. It's what we want to see. That's a long. I don't know if it's it's a mid-range or a long two. I hope it's a mid-range, because I hate the long. The long two is the dumbest shot in basketball, period. So, like, look, I think Aliyah Boston's Aliyah Boston. The thing with Aliyah Boston is her best asset is her IQ. That's the one thing I'll always say about Aliyah Boston. Is no matter what, she is super smart. She is super duper smart, and that is her biggest asset on the court, is the IQ of Aliyah Boston. But as far as looking at this workout, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like her game. Even what we saw in Unrivaled, that there was an expansion, um, of her game, which is a little bit disappointing to see, because it's like Unrivaled was the time to like try and fail. But the positive is that look, her IQ is still going to be her IQ. She's in as good shape as I've seen her. Like, she looked in real good shape towards the end of Unrivaled. She was brilliant in the final. And as long as she can stay aggressive and she can pass, you're looking for something. But I would have hoped to have seen some sort of... Because, like, look, I'm not going to say I was this massive Indiana Fever fan. I watched her a couple of times as a rookie. I watched her go toe-to-toe with Angel Wilson as a rookie. And it just doesn't seem like there's much of an expansion to her game other than her passing. And I understand, obviously, not everyone needs to develop a three-point shot. But the player, it does look like the only difference, there's no tangible difference between her game really now and when she left South Carolina. Like, sure, intangibles, her IQ's better, her ability to read the game is unbelievable. But I don't know. Like, a lot of long twos taken. I would love to see her shoot the three ball more. And I would like to have seen her maybe try a few more things in Unrivaled, because, like, obviously, look, Angel Reese is a prime example of it. Like, we saw Angel Reese go, and especially early on in Unrivaled, we saw her trying new things. She had that weird sidestep mid-range jumper that she kept working on. And as, like, time went on, she got absolutely, absolutely just dominating on the inside. She got better as Unrivaled went on, whereas with Aliyah Boston, it's kind of been it's just the same player. It was the same player, and I'm hoping we're coming into the season, but there's no reason why anyone should expect this. A lot of people are talking about a major jump from Aliyah Boston. I think she's going to be an all-star. I think her IQ is going to help her be a connective piece. But the most likely scenario for the Fever to win is for Aliyah Boston to be Al Horford-esque. Is to be able to spread the floor if needed, but as much as anything, to be like an 8-point per game defender and passer. An 8.5 assists per game center. Like, that's probably what's going to be best for the Fever. Especially watching her work out and watching it be the slow post moves. And look, what she's best at is, if she's kind of one-on-one in isolation, she walks you down into position and she can finish quite well. Especially if she has a size mismatch. But, like, it is... her face-up game became everything last year. And watching this workout, if you had told me that this was a workout from August, it kind of wouldn't have been any sort of surprise. And I'm making this video, obviously you can only tell a certain amount from a workout. And you can tell what people are looking on. You can tell, say, if a jump shot looks more smooth, it looks the exact same. You can tell a bunch of, like, little things from a workout. But a lot of people saying that Aliyah Boston was going to have the biggest improvement this year. I think Aliyah Boston in that starting five, not that she's not going to be one of the most important players in this team. I think we saw at the end of last year, Aliyah Boston being that facilitator, being that pick and roll partner for Caitlin Clark was so important. But from what we've seen in all these workouts, it looks like there's going to be a lot more player movement. Maybe a lot more ball movement than player movement in the Fever offense this year. And I can see her playing more of a, like, point center type role, where she is a facilitator more than she's a scorer, especially because there's a lot of mouths to feed and there's only one basketball. So, yeah, all in all, it's good to see Aliyah Boston. I thought she was in good shape in Unrivaled. It's good to see Aliyah Boston. I'm confident she'll come into season in good shape, and I'm actually very confident that Aliyah Boston, however she starts the season, even if she starts the season slowly again, I'm extremely confident that Aliyah Boston is going to figure it out. I think she's going to figure it out, and she's going to be a huge piece in a Fever team that's going to, my prediction is going to make the finals, because I think one of the Lynx or the Liberty are just going to have a bad regular season, and I think they might face off against each other, and I don't think anyone else can touch the Fever. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.